Today, publishers expect the author to participate in the crafting of the book itself and in the marketing plans and strategies. This series presents today's authors with research-based, tried-and-true courses on how to set up successful book events, how to garner and present 5-star book reviews, how to create and submit all the stuff that goes between the book covers alongside your wonderful manuscript, and how to set the stage for yourself as an author in this world. I'm Evelyn Rainey, American educator, author, and publisher. I manage ShelteringTree.Earth publishing. I hope what you learn from these courses can be applied to your writing craft. This course is on footnotes and bibliographies, the proper way to make citations. One of the most important aspects of writing nonfiction is honoring those who came before you. We know there is nothing new under the sun. However, as stated, the reader assumes that I wrote this wonderful phrase. I did not. Neither did William Shakespeare. The phrase was written by the writer of Ecclesiastes, and we won't go into who that may or may not have been at this time. When one is quoting from the Bible, Torah, Talmud, or Quran, it is sufficient to use a parenthetical citation. For example, what has been, it is what will be. And what has been done, it is what will be done. So, there is nothing new under the sun. Ecclesiastes 1:9 NSAB. Note that the scripture is in italics. The book, chapter, verse, and version are in parentheses. Do make sure that you state which kind of book you are quoting from. When one wants to quote from a non-scriptural source, one needs to honor legally who wrote it, where it came from, who published it, and where the publisher is located, and the year it was published. There are many different styles that are perfectly acceptable, as long as you are consistent through your article, paper, or manuscript. ShelteringTree.Earth prefers Turabian or APA. Turabian is used and favored by academics. APA is used and favored by psychologists and other behavioral sciences. Look them up. There are books and sequential editions of those books available. So if you're using Turabian, you use Turabian for the bibliography and the footnotes. If you're going with an APA style, use APA for the bibliography and a parenthetical citation instead of footnotes. It's okay. We'll go through this. Take a deep breath. All right, Turabian bibliography. The author's name is placed last name, comma, first, and then there's a period. The title of the book is in italics, and then a period. The edition, if it is more than the first edition, is listed as an abbreviation and a period. The city where it is published, which in this day and age really makes no sense because there are publishers outside of New York and Los Angeles and London and Paris in this world at this time, publishing places. So, okay, city, and then the name of the publisher, and then a period, and then the year it was published, period. The year of the book that you took it out of, not the very first time it was published. The book that you have in your hand, and the period. If you choose to use an APA bibliography, the author's last name is used just like in Turabian, and there's a comma, and then they just use the first initial with a period. And then the publication date is placed in parentheses with a period. The book title is italicized with period. Additional information, for example, the edition with a period, the city it was published in with a colon, and the name of the publishing company and a period. APA uses periods, commas, colons, and parentheses, where Turabian just used periods, a lot of them, and a colon. Bibliography, reference, and/or resource is added at the end of a manuscript before any other addendum. It is left aligned, hanging indentation, and single-spaced, with a line between each entry. Footnotes are easily added by clicking your Reference tab on your Word document, setting it up as Turabian or APA in the Citation and Bibliography box. You only need to do this once for your manuscript, and then click Insert Footnote. Word inserts the number and keeps them in order, thank goodness, and provides space at the bottom of the page for you to type in the above information. Footnotes are left aligned, indented first line, and single-spaced. Also, make sure that the line space options under that you have removed any lines before or after the paragraphs. So a Turabian footnote looks like this. The name of the author is first to last with a comma. The title is in italics. City, publisher, year are all in parentheses. The page number, you don't need to put the word page, you just need to put a number. And if people are used to Turabian, they'll figure out that was the page number. The page number is important. So anybody that's reading your manuscript or your published book and wants to learn more can look it up very easily from your footnote. Okay, a Turabian footnote uses commas and parentheses with only a final period, and of course that colon between the city and publisher. For APA, all you need, instead of footnotes, you need to use a parenthetical citation, which is so easy. Okay, so you quote it, and then in parentheses, that's where the word parenthetical comes from, you give the last name of the person that said it, and the comma, the year the book was published, or the year that you heard it directly from this person. For direct quotations that you got out of a book, you must also include that in your bibliography. But if it was just a quotation from somebody that you were interviewing or you were listening to, you do not need to include that in your bibliography. So a direct quotation would be the last name of the person that said it, and then a verb. Stated, said, sang, laughed, shared with me, all in past tense, comma, and then in quotation marks, the exact quote, no period before that quotation mark, last one, the closing one, and then in parentheses, last name, comma, year, period. If you're going to paraphrase a concept, then you paraphrase it, and paraphrasing is much better than direct quotes. You paraphrase what you've learned. It's not your intellectual property. It was coined by somebody else. Therefore, you cannot take credit for it. You must give credit where credit's due by putting in parentheses the author's last name, comma, and the year that you either heard it, learned it, or read, or the book was published, with the period. Public domain. Just because a book is more than 50 years old does not mean it's in public domain. Public domain has to do with who owns the copyright. If you have a copyright and then you die, your copyright lives on for another 70 years as of the copyright law of October 2022. So you need to state it. If you know that it's public domain, not if you think it is, do a little research. You can research it. If a book is now under public domain, this is stated in all caps after the appropriate citation in the APA bibliography or both bibliography and footnote of Turabian. Due diligence and find out if the book is actually in public domain or not. And if it is, that doesn't mean you get to quote it willy-nilly and claim it as your own. It still belonged to the author who said it or wrote it. And you need to honor that legally. So be diligent. You are not citing who owns the copyright, but who wrote and published the book. I hope you enjoyed and learned from this course on footnotes and bibliographies. Again, specifically, our publishing house, ShelteringTree.Earth, prefers you to use either Turabian or APA. It's very important for people to respect and honor who wrote and said specific words. You are an author. You want someone to respect and honor you and your words. Do the same. If you have any questions, go to our website, ShelteringTree.Earth, and click on any of the many contact boxes. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.